Oh.
Real life J.A. we're living so true.
Living so true.
From the dust of the road to the morning dew.
Morning dew. Sun power face, sky so blue.
Real life J.A. me and you. No fake love, no runaway. We hold faith strong in a real life J.A.
Alright, viewers, welcome to Real Life JA on JBL Entertainment TV. I am your host, Shane Reed. We have with us this evening a very special guest by the person of Miss Shantalee Campbell. Miss Campbell, happy Sunday, good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Happy Sunday, Shane. Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here.
All right, so we're going to learn some more about Miss Shantalee a little bit. And we're gonna be talking about relationship and all of those things. So yesterday was a special day for a lot of folks. It should have been a special day for folks in relationships, not necessarily those. So it is the ideal season to have these conversations. So we soon hear more from Shantalee. I am going to tell you about an upcoming show that we have on Thursday, February 26th. That's with Miss Danae Ennis. So please stay tuned for that. We are sponsored by Sky Beach Restaurant, Bar, and Grill, located in Hopewell, Hanover. So that's the next show. One of our other shows, guys, will be coming up on Thursday, February 26th. And from Rising Star to the Big Lead, a brand new single from Sugar called Montego Bay, and this is released by VP Records. This song is available on all digital platforms, so you can check out her video on YouTube, and the song is titled Montego Bay. So please go and check out Sugar. She's a former rising star, and she has a new single out, a new song out by the name of Montego Bay. So please go on YouTube and check that out. All right, so Miss Campbell, over to you now. So please tell us something about yourself,
What would you
who
like
you
to
are.
know?
I think we'd like to know who you are, as in terms of where you're from. What do you do for a living?
Mhm.
Your When I want to find out all of your business, because on everything good for eat, good for talk. You must.
Truth.
So, yeah, your early life and your education and what you're now doing as a means of, living and all of those things before we get into the meat of the matter.
Okay. So thank you again for this opportunity to share on this platform, Shane, and big ups to JBell Entertainment TV. So my name is Shantalee Campbell. I hail from Montego Bay, born and bred here. Did all my schooling in Montego Bay from basic all the way up to university. Yeah,
What do you
I
mean you
didn't.
never left? Well,
I
well,
never
let
left.
me not get there. I can't, because I never left.
I went to Mount Alvernia High
Yeah.
School for Girls, and then I left there and I went to the Montego Bay Community College where I was part of the first batch of bachelor students that they hosted at our Montego Bay campus. I ventured into tourism, maybe because I live in tourism central and I live close to the beach, but
Hmm.
had a love for tourism, my country, my people, all of that stuff. So tourism was my major, with minor in like food and beverage and all of that good stuff. However, I did not stay there. I went the travel route and I worked with our beloved Air Jamaica, who I miss every day. and until they went out of business. Currently, I am working as a personal assistant for a IT company where we do cybersecurity for dealerships. It's a US based company, so I work remotely. But I also have a business. The brand is Well Done Experience. And our flagship product are natural popsicles made from local fruits, vegetables, nuts, and all of that good stuff. No additives, no preservatives, no added sugar, and they are called Power Pops.
Hold
But
on. Were you at Sumfest, one of the pre-show one year?
no, no, that
No,
wasn't
it's not.
us. That was
That
probably,
wasn't you.
no, that was another group. We were at Curry Fest, not last year. I think it was the year before.
All right. So you have never left Montego Bay or St. James to study.
No.
All right. All right. So you're a home girl. You have moved from tourism to traveling Air Jamaica. How was that? I have seen, read, and listened to persons speaking nostalgic about Air Jamaica. Was it all? I didn't get the chance. I wasn't traveling at that time, and
Okay.
I'm not aging myself, but I am not so old. I'm not so young to give you. So, but
Um,
I have heard and read the stories about the
mhm.
nostalgia associated with Jamaica here, Jamaica. What was it like working there? Was it all that nostalgia?
I think it stemmed from a civil pride of knowing that our country had a carrier
Hmm.
and it had Jamaica on it. So that in itself gave us that, that feeling. And then where we worked, you never find a lot of people leaving. If they leave, it's probably to go overseas, but they never really left to go to another company. It was like, it was the company to work in, especially if you were young and in your prime and wanting to see the world and all of that good stuff. So you found out that we bonded as co-workers and became friends. And that is what really kept it, is that we're there because we're going to see each other, and we spend so many hours together, traveling together, staying there together. We knew each other's families because we're working, so the children will come by the offices and all of that good stuff. So I think it's that bond that made it so nostalgic. Not the company just facilitated that.
Yeah, authentic Jamaican. Yeah. So tourism to cybersecurity. How that jump?
Okay, so COVID happened.
Oh yeah, that thing. That thing.
So
Yeah.
COVID happened, but right before, well, not right before COVID, I did leave out a big bite. I have been a missionary, well, a missionary. I work with a nonprofit called Boss the Movement. It's a youth empowerment program. It's global. You can Google it, they're online and all of that. And we do Bible based leadership training. I did that for almost 17 years. Yeah, I did that for almost 17 years. And so we promote a lot of, you know, expanding, and not only, yeah, it's not just going to church and praying and all of that. You have to do faith without works is dead. And so we realized that a lot of things were going online because of COVID and because of the shutdown and because we became like a global village. And so cybercrime was on the rise, and so many organizations came about, and the US pumped up their cybersecurity protection, and so they needed a lot of individuals to work in that. So they were giving out free training, like many of the organizations, even here in Jamaica, with different programs. And that is how I kind of, checked it out, because I'm like, you know what, if everything is going online, or most things are going online or having an online presence, then it would make sense to even have this common knowledge in that area. So that's how it got started. It wasn't for any super love or anything. It was just
Okay.
expanding the territory.
Your entrepreneur. entrepreneurial journey where you're starting your own business. Take us
Yes.
into that and how we can reach out to you in terms of that.
Okay.
Because we're giving you the chance to advertise yourself and promote your business. So,
Thank you. Thank you
yeah.
so much. I appreciate that. So the business came about from being in the classroom. As I said, that we have been doing youth empowerment training. So I've been in schools like Flankers Primary, Barracks Road Primary. We've worked with the SOS Children Village children that have been affected. So our main target is children between 6.5 to 11 and a half or above. And so, having worked with these children in these settings for over 15 years, I realized that one of the hugest issues that we have is having healthy snacks in the schools, you know.
Hmm.
And so, that is where the Power Pops idea came about. It's not new because I did see there is a company, I think it's in Trinidad, where they kind of do the same thing. So it's not really new that that product, and Jamaica always have fruits and vegetables in season. We always do. So I just thought it was a good idea to capitalize, to have a product. The target is to be in the schools where they can, it doesn't have to be the fruit, the snack of choice, but they should have a choice for an healthy snack. And we have a tropical climate, so popsicles are always in season for
Yeah. Yeah.
children,
Hmm.
so that is where that stemmed from being in the classroom and just having a desire for the children to have healthy snacks instead of lollipops and candies and all of that crazy stuff. Now, because I have been training, um I have the background in trading, that is. So we offer training services in customer service, product knowledge, and teamwork. So we do training on those platforms, short 1 day training. We can come into your company. If you do not have your resident HR or a training department, we come in and we do a training with your staff, and all, just to help to promote staff morale as well. So that is really where it stemmed from. We also offer an amazing iced tea, strawberry iced tea, and iced coffee that is bottled for convenience. We offer that as well. We can be reached.
Strawberry iced tea.
You would love it.
Mm.
Listen, it's shot.
That sounds interesting.
The strawberry fused iced tea, yes. But
Mm,
unlike the
hmm.
popsicle, this one has sugar in it. So it's
Hmm.
nice
Hmm.
and it's fun and chill and all of that stuff. So we can be reached via phone. WhatsApp is the most effective way. My number is, can I give out my number? I can do that.
Yeah, man, you can
Okay.
give out your number. Yeah.
My number is 876-546-3188.
Well,
3188. What you say?
you're giving it out for business, so let's emphasize that.
Okay. So for business, you can WhatsApp for order or more information at 876-546-3188. And if you want to check out anything concerning my business, also, I just published a book, my first published
Yeah, I
book.
was going to get into that because a little birdie told me, I won't say who the birdie is, but a little birdie did tell me that you are an author. So you can also get into that. But before you get into that, let's pause a little bit and welcome
Mhm.
those who are watching us. Guys, welcome to Real Life J Bell on, yeah, welcome to Real Life on TV. I'm your host, Shane Reed. With us, we have a beautiful queen in the person of Shantalee Campbell, and she is from St. James, the neighboring parish to us
Yes.
here in Hanover. And she has never left the parish to study. Like, some of you want to
Go
leave
to
your parish
Kingston.
to go to Kingston and say, yeah, me have to left here, me have to go to town. No, she didn't do that. And she is a leader, she is an entrepreneur, and we were going into talking about her and her new book. So if you are watching, please like, subscribe, and share so all of her friends, family members, co-workers from tourism, from Air Jamaica, whatever it is, just like, share, and please come in the chat and ask your questions. If you have any questions to ask or any comments, we will read the questions and we will also read the comments. So to your book now, Miss Campbell.
Yes, so the name of my book is God Over PCOS, period, Polycystic Ovarian Syndrome Revealed. It's a book that discloses a lot of intimate information about my diagnosis with polycystic ovarian syndrome, how it affected my mental health, how it affected my
What's that?
relationships. Polycystic ovarian syndrome. Wait, can you see it?
Yeah.
Yes. So that's the book, and we do have physical copies here on the island, but you can also access it on Amazon,
Mm-hmm.
Kindle, if you're a Kindle reader, hard copy, paperback. So have you
What's the
ever heard
cost?
about polycystic ovarian syndrome?
No,
All right, so
this is
you
a
definitely
new
need to know about
terminology.
definitely need to know about that. Okay, so let's do the price and get that out of the way because
Mm-hmm.
So here on the island, the paperback is for 3,000 Jamaican dollars. The hardcover is for 4,000 Jamaican dollars. Your choice. If you are getting it on Amazon, the Kindle is $9.99. Paperback is $15.99, and I do believe that the hardcover is about $24.99, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that, but you can definitely jump over to Amazon and check it out.
Put it up again so that they can see it probably.
Yes.
Bell can crop a photo. So Bell just probably screenshot or something or the other and take a photo. Hold on, let me do that. Hold on. This is a new laptop. Where is this up there? All right, spring screen. There it is. One
Yeah,
more
sure. Hurry
time.
up.
All right.
You get it?
All right, done. Yeah, me screenshot
Awesome.
it.
Yeah, I'm gonna share.
Yeah, I
Sure.
got it. I got it. I got it. Mhm. It is, yeah. It's a new
So
Chinese
that is
laptop
the book.
and they don't have anything.
A new laptop have evolved with the technology. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
so that is the book. So I really, the intent was never to publish a book. The intent was to just heal, and I healed through writing, and it just evolved into what it is. And so I went looking for healing, and so I realized that we become the healing that we're looking for so that we can heal others, to be honest. So that is what it is about, and how God had to show me his perspective on the diagnosis that I was given to just clean up some stuff that I acted like didn't exist in my entire being. So that is what the book is about. It's an easy read, it's a fun read. Yes.
How
So
many
get your
pages?
copy. Me no know. Wait, hold on, let me tell you. Wait. It is 113, probably less than 120 pages.
Oh, that's a short book. That's a
Yeah,
short book.
man.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? Is that me never like read. So when me hear about publish, I'm like, who is going to read it? Because I'm going to have to read it to get it edited. I
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah, yeah,
never
yeah.
excited about it, but
Hmm.
it's not about me.
Do you think this will be your only writing project, though?
No, I have a book that is kind of marinating.
Ah, let it marinate and
Yeah,
talk
it
about
is
it.
yeah, it's
All right,
marinating. It's kind of intimate.
all
So
right.
maybe next Valentine, perhaps.
Next year. All right. Next year. All right. Book the date, guys. We talk about that next year if our lives are space. So,
Pressure.
guys. All right. So let's continue and get into the meat of the matter.
Yes.
What do you think is the biggest misconception about marriage?
The biggest misconception about marriage that I believe is that marriage is transactional, primary. I think that is the hugest. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. I'm going
Yeah,
into marriage.
transactional is a big word. So break it down
Yeah,
for
man,
me.
I'm going to break it down.
Mm.
Transactional means what is in it for me, period. What is in it for me? How will this help me to get to where I need to be or to do what I need to do. I think that is one of the hugest misconception of,
Hold on.
going into that mindset, making sure that I understand what you asked.
When the Bible says that Adam, he gave Adam a helpmeet or a helpmate,
Mm-hmm.
do you think that is where the misconception is coming from, or misinterpretation of what that means, especially for Christians? Or well, whether you're not a quote unquote Christian, we're a Christian culture. So,
Uh-huh.
do you think that's where that is coming from?
For some persons, I believe that you must study to show yourself approved. So when you see helpmate anywhere, you need to figure out what it means. It doesn't mean that she's a helper, because the root word, because we know that English is very dramatic. I
Hmm.
mean, knife don't have a K, so I mean, hello. So the root word for helpmate is easer, and that does not mean to help you wash, cook, and clean. It's literally a strategic, it's a war phrase. It's for battle strategy. So the wife is given for battle strategy.
So it's not, you're not going into a relationship because you want to use this as a means of upward mobility, or as someone to help you out.
No, it's for something bigger. Marriage has to be for something bigger, or else when you're married, you have the children, you have the house on a hill with the picket fence, you have the car, you have the job. Then what? We have persons that are severely depressed, and we would think they have it all. So it has to be that there is something bigger to marriage than just, just to have physical things that will rust and not be around in 100 years. Outside of your children, which are legacies, and those are given to us by God.
Hmm. Hmm. Uh, so you're not in this because of what you can get, but because of what you can give to each other or give to the world, or is that it?
Yeah, definitely. I think from the beginning, God gave first. He's always giving.
Hmm.
Everything that we see around us gives. The fruit trees gives its fruit. The fruit is not for the fruit tree.
Yeah, yeah.
Flowers give their colors and their
Hmm.
fragrance. Yesterday was Valentine's. For many persons, they got roses and different bouquets. It's not for the flower, it's for somebody else to benefit from. Even when we give gifts, the highest point of the gift exchange is to see that expression on that person's face when they receive it, if we're going to be honest with ourselves, unless you're totally crazy, right? And so I don't think marriage is any different. I also believe that marriage is a mirror of our relationship with the Almighty God.
Yeah, yeah. Because of course, Paul said to the husband that he must give himself for the
Love,
wife. Yeah,
as
just as
Christ gave
Christ gave
himself for the
himself for the
church.
church. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So, and that's a big. That thing is like scary.
No, it's not, because
Because Christ gave himself. You know what? He died.
yes, he rose again.
Yes, he did. But that's so you're basically saying that when the man gives himself, he's going to rise again. That's true. That's true. Because a part of you dies and then something else new emerge. Yes, that's true.
But you
That's true.
have to die you have to
Yeah,
die to your singleness. Like when
yes.
you decide to go into this covenant relationship, and we call it covenant because God is involved in it, right?
Hmm.
When you decide to do this, there are certain natures that you have to be willing to give up. So you now have to say, okay, I think I am not a morning person, but that will have to die because my husband is a morning person, and because I love him, I'm going to want to get up, I'm going to want to fix him tea or whatever, his shake or whatever he needs to go through the door, or if he's a business owner, I'm going to want to help him to order his day so it goes smoothly. And that is just an example. So it's me allowing a part of me to die so that I can now attach to that person. The Bible says you should leave and literally cleave, which is like getting glued on. So if you should pull off, you will rip and hurt. And so some parts of you have to die. You go have to dead. You can't be like, oh, me go just do what me feel like, and you have to understand because you say you love me. And no, no, that's not how it works. You know, Hollywood lied to us.
Hollywood really lied to us, and I'm
Mm.
loving this. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. Yeah, we're going philosophical, we're going theological, and theological, and all of the sociological and spiritual. Yeah, yeah. I'm loving this. All right. So, do you think love changes after you get married?
Yes, I do.
In what way?
I believe that love changes because love grows. I believe love is a decision. In my book, my definition for love, and this is not my definition, this is a definition that I learned, and I believe that it worked. It says, love is contending for another's highest good in every situation until it becomes a manifestation, which
Go again.
means
Pull up, pull up. Yeah, pull up and repeat that.
one more time.
One more time, Miss Campbell. Let's go again.
Love means contending for another's highest good in every situation until it becomes a manifestation. Just like, all right, Shane, they say that we are the bride of Christ, right? The
Yeah,
church.
the
Do
church
you
is,
see
yes.
how messy the church is? We are a mess as the church, but God in Himself, whose only currency is faith, faith it every day and believes, gives us grace and gives us mercy every day. Why? Because He loves us. The God that I serve came down for His bride, His messy bride. When I stop, when I all kind of adulterous relationship with vanity, and we own things where we want, we own desires, we put God on a shelf and be like, you know what, be the trophy husband. And when we get hurt out there, we run back to God and He takes us back because it's messy. But what is happening? God is contending for our highest good because He knows what is inside of us. And when you decide to marry a person, you're seeing the good that is in the person. And good don't mean good, better, best. Good means this person has the ability to replicate good things, righteous things, things that can advance not only your bloodline, not only your family, but also your business, so that your family will leave this world better than it came in and saw it. You will leave something good for your children, your children's children, or even if it's not children from your loins, but just the world better than you saw it. And so God is doing that for us. And He said, hey, for God so loved the world that He gave. So guess what? You give too, because we're living by example. So He's our example.
So, you know, Hollywood and a lot of these think pieces, whether they are in books or whatever, seems to have done something to us, tricked
Something.
us because, yeah, the idea is that there should be it's more cosmetic relationships or marriage rather than organic, and the idea that you are actually seeking the good of the individual therefore means that parts of you have to die and you have to walk away from. We don't have that idea. We have it that the individual should be compatible and should be perfect and should be all of these things, and the least little thing that goes wrong, we're ready to pack up our bags and move on because we listen to some nonsense on TikTok or Instagram, etc.
And we're back.
Ah, yes, you're back. You heard that?
No, I didn't. I thought you left because I was still here.
No, I thought you left.
You see what I'm saying? You see what that communication is
Yeah,
important in marriage as well.
yeah, yeah.
But guess
The
what? We're
internet did
working
it.
with technology as well, and we
Yes,
understand
yes.
the flaws that come with it, but it will
Hmm.
align because this information must go out.
Amen.
You said that Hollywood, they did do a play on it, but your
Yeah.
question was, do we think that love changes? It does change because love
Hmm.
grows, because people grow and people change. The person that you marry may not be the necessarily the person that will exist 10 years from now. We know biologically, every cell in your body changes every 7 years, every single cell. So your baby picture will never look like your 7-year-old picture because every cell would have changed, which you can say that person changes. But if you want to take it another level, you change intellectually as well. You're reading information, you're interacting in an environment, and you're evolving, you're learning this person that you are with. And because you love this person, you adapt to these changes, not because you want to people please, because that is not right, but because you are growing as well and you're realizing that, listen, in order to achieve this goal, and it has to be one goal, then guess what? It means that I have to adapt to the changes which occurs in this symbiotic relationship that is marriage. It must. And then God is in the midst of that, and God is guiding and guarding and leading. And if you remain rigid, you will break.
We're going to pause for our third also break. We're going to welcome those of you who have joined us from the beginning, or those of you who just joined. I see a comment in the chat. I read it. This is Real Life JA on JBL Entertainment TV. I am your host, Shane Reed, and we are sponsored by Sky Beach Restaurant Bar and Grill, located in Hopewell, Hanover, which is down the road from me there. And we have our special guest by the person of Miss Shantalee Campbell. She is an author, she's an entrepreneur, and she's a cybersecurity expert, and she's a missionary. All right, she's everything. She's an all-rounder. And yeah, so and we are talking about relationships. So please like, subscribe, and comment. I am seeing this is my journey. J2E says loving the vibe. So thank you for joining. Thank you for the comments. And if there's anybody else out there, please guys like, subscribe, and comment. Ask your question. Funny enough, you said that individuals change. I just before COVID, or somewhere about there, I discovered a Canadian psychologist by the name of Jordan Peterson, clinical psychologist, and I got interested in him because I saw where he did some lectures about the psychological significance of the Genesis story, and
Mm.
as someone who is a Christian and also interested in psychology, I was like, yo, this should be interesting. And it turns out to be very, very interesting. But as I continued to listen to him, he said that I remember him saying that no, children do not have the same parent, even though they have the same parent. And I was like, what the heck? What do you mean? What do you mean? There's three of us, or four. For me, there's me, the first one, there's Mary, the second one, and there's Brian, the third one. And he's like, never had the same parent. Yes, it's the same mother, but she wasn't the same when she had became my mother, and she wasn't the same when she became Mary's mother, and she wasn't the same when she became Brian's mother. And I was like, damn, Jordan, you're blowing my brain here.
Yeah, and that is true. That is true, Shane, because I think I saw a snippet of that. And
Yes.
when the doctor said that even when all of you were born, were present in the household, your personalities were so different. Your
Yeah.
mother was whatever she needed to be to Shane, to
Mm-hmm.
whomever she needed to be, because your needs were different.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If
Mm-hmm.
you're an all boy household, well, great. But what happens when you have a when you have sisters and brothers.
And
The
my sister
parents
is
have
in
to
the
be
middle.
different.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
My father was in our household, and my father was not the same with me as he was with the boys. The boys get rough up and deal with a particular way, not because not he just showed love differently to them. And it was not to say, oh, I'm showing them tough love or anything like that. But you understand that boys will be boys, swinging from light switches and climbing trees and all of that. Whereas us as girls, you we were dealt with a little bit more glove because of, I guess, perception of how girls grow up and the things that
Yeah,
we
that's
gravitate
true.
to.
Yeah.
So the parenting style is different and the parenting person is different. And so you can't say, oh, I love this one more than I love that one, but this one needs more love. And they're saying that, you, Shane, you can always handle yourself. I don't have to come. I don't have to be behind you to tell you to take up this, to tell you to get something to eat, to tell you that we need to. But your brother, your brother gives me a reason to pray daily. you, you get what I'm saying?
So
And so the parenting is different. And it's the same with
with the
with every
marriage,
marriage.
because if because and it's just while you were talking earlier, I went back to what Jordan Peterson said and said, okay, so yeah, so if the mother is never the same for the child, then it also means that that wife or that husband, because daddy was not, well, the daddy that existed before we came along, because he's a little bit older than mommy and had two daughters before with other through other relationships. Well, so by the
Right.
time we came along years later, he was a totally different never read. And there was
Definitely.
stuff that we would get away with that you know time the last boy, the wash belly, came along, he was just absolutely totally different.
Very much so. Very much
Yeah,
so.
so it's the same thing in relationships, and I don't think we were taught that.
No, we were not. And um the person will change. A sickness can change the dynamics in a relationship. I have seen that with persons that are diagnosed with cancer,
Hmm.
a pregnancy, just a rough pregnancy
Yeah.
can change the dynamics of the relationship. So a husband that you thought was not caring becomes so attentive, and this is like a new person. You ever they watch the movies in Hollywood or even in real life, and you will hear a girl say, oh, this is the man that I'm gonna use you. This is the Shane that I've been waiting to show up. Where was this Shane when we were together? Where was this Shane?
Hmm.
And now Shane, after all these years, we break up and you're now showing up for this other person, this wife that have. What was wrong with me? And it's not that anything was wrong with you, baby girl, but it's just that this is the season and this is what is happening. You understand? This is the growth spurt that is happening. You can't force it. You understand? So it's not that anything was wrong with one relationship that you were probably in that did not work out for probably a totally different reason. It's just that this is a new person. You probably got exposed to probably Dr. Jordan. And so your mindset now changed because information changes your mind if you're willing to change. And this causes the person to introspect first, and then we begin to see it in their actions.
Powerful, powerful. Yeah. Minister Poyser, thank you for watching. Greetings. You know who that is, I guess.
I don't, but welcome.
As a mother of
Welcome, Minister Poiser.
uh, as a mother of five, each journey, well, five. As a mother of five, each journey was different for me. And yes, each time I was a different person. I had no idea about that. I thought Maxine Reed was the same Maxine Reed for the three of us.
Okay.
And it was not
No.
until I was sitting, as I said earlier, sitting and listening to the clinical psychologist from Canada that I was like, damn. mm, yes, thank you for that. So I didn't know that Minister Poise. I thought Maxine was the same. All right, moving on. Is marriage more about friendship or romance?
Say that again.
Is marriage more about friendship or romance? Seems as if Shantalee, her internet, yeah, shucks. Earlier I mentioned something about this in our open me and the goat mouth. Uh,
We are back. I missed your question.
yeah, so whatever the enemy is trying to do, hello,
It will not work
it
out.
will not work out. All right, cool. So the question is marriage more about friendship or romance? Is it more friendship? Is it more romance, or is it a mixture of romance and friendship?
I believe romance is necessary. It is necessary. I tell persons that if God didn't make sex to be entertaining, well, not entertaining, enjoyable, we wouldn't procreate. So that is necessary. But I don't friendship, and you have to define friendship if you're going to say that marriage is more based on friendship. You have to know the person. I believe that if you're growing up with a set of girls and you're spending all your time, this is the group of friends that you matriculated through schools with, you went to college with, and all of that. When you decide to marry, it makes sense to choose one of these girls. Why you go outside, go find somebody where you know for 2 weeks and marry them? You don't really know them, but you've seen this girl on her worst hair day. You see her with matter in her eye. For those that are overseas, coal, like mucus in her eye. You've seen her in a tear up bottom shorts, and you still was like, I'm a friend, and you see her when she well dressed up and clean, like Jesus police record, and you're like, I'm a friend. Wouldn't it be better to just say, okay, I'm going to marry this one, or I'm going to court this one onto marriage?
Hmm.
Because you would have known more about this person. You would have seen them in multiple seasons. You probably were there when they lost a grandmother or lost a cousin, or when their pet fish died or something like that. So you would have seen them in many seasons. So you can now choose and say, okay, is this somebody that I could live with? Because you know the content. You're not only looking at the container anymore, because containers change. Yeah, they get, they change. So it's more about the content
So are you are
container.
you are you asserting
Mm-hmm.
that it would have been better for me to that chi- marry that individual that we all went to church, we all went to the same primary school, went to church
Uh-huh.
together. We were all in the same peer group, friend group. Um, yeah, and we all and probably there were some persons who were like, mm, the two of you, and I'm like, nah, we are friends. We are friends from we were like down there, so no, we're not gonna go.
Uh-huh.
So are you saying it was better if I had listened to the how the old stars and say, yeah, me hear one answer, and try to push into making going beyond being friends into a marriage? Is that what you're rather than going to find somebody from a different?
No, I'm saying that that is an option. To say that there is only one way to
Mm,
meet your spouse and to live life with your spouse. No,
hmm.
I don't
Okay,
subscribe to that. And
okay.
I don't subscribe to God might tell some of us who to marry, but you still have to agree. You
Hmm,
understand? He's not going
hmm,
to jump in and
hmm.
be like, you have to marry this person or else. And there's nothing biblical to say God will pick your partner. You love who you marry. That is it. You love who you marry. You don't
Well,
necessarily.
there are other cultures, as we know, where the partner is
Mhm.
chosen by the parents. Ironically, so
Yes.
The Indian culture and all, and ironically, those in those cultures, divorce rate seems to be, and that's a different argument. We're not even going to get it, but I'm just throwing that into the mix.
Yes.
Divorce rate don't seems to be that high in those cultures. And when you compare that to our culture, that is very much
Mhm.
westernized and all of those things, and that believes that we should
Yes.
date and court and compatibility and all of those things, we are not getting married. And
Yes.
if we do get married, we divorce like it's going out of style. So it's
But the thing is, and I say this, I say this with confidence, that divorce was never a solution. Scripture tells us, are we together? Are we
yeah,
back? Or are we together, Shane?
we are together. Yeah,
All right, wonderful. So scripture tells us that it was never God's intent for there to be any divorce. The Bible tells us that it was the hardness of the heart of men, not human, but not man as in male, but the hardness of the heart of humans, why Moses had to initiate a bill of divorce. You know, Jesus said that it is in red in the Bible. So divorce was never the intent. You understand what I'm saying? I think we say, oh, people don't keep their vows, people don't keep their vows, but it's not people that is supposed to keep their vows, Shane. I believe that it is the vow that keeps the person. So you are going to say, in sickness and in health, um for richer or poorer, good or bad, it is sacred. You're making this agreement and you are standing by it as loyal. I think it's very flip flop now, and what you're seeing in marriage is what you're seeing in friendships. I'm sure back in the day, the friends that your mother had are the friends that you grew up calling auntie, and they were friends for years. Your mother didn't go about
they were
changing
loyal to
friends
each
and all
other,
of
and they were loyal to each other. And I have recognized that they were not necessarily the most perfect individuals, because if they ever tell us something like take each other man, when they do to each other,
that.
like we grew up where your cousin and you're like, so, oh, so you have picnic fee. It doesn't make sense. And then you see them and they're friends, and you're like, damn, you guys were so messy. But we come consider them as friends, and we grew up and calling them. And hold on, before we get into
Yeah,
it,
you call them auntie
you
and you
call them
call their
auntie,
children cousin, even though
cousin,
you're not
yeah,
related to them, all of that. But what I'm getting at is the loyalty. We
the
don't see that
loyalty,
because
yeah.
the
Mhm.
fiber of society is being deteriorated, and it's being deteriorated by things. It's
Yeah,
being deteriorated by things. We would like to believe that there isn't a great God in the universe that is orchestrating things that ensure that the great grandmother you had 10 generations back met your great grandfather, that met coming up your great grandmother who is now children, that came to that so that God could have you. You understand? We're acting like there isn't a great architect out there that is sitting back and laughing when we think that we are the one that is running the show. The Bible tells us that he knew the end before he knew the beginning.
yeah,
So
yeah,
nothing is really taking him by surprise. You know, the broken relationships, which I don't think it's God saying, you know what, I don't want you to have any per relationship. You need to marry when you're a virgin and all of that. I think it's more like bad memories, to be honest. I think it was Dr. Miles Monroe, God rest his soul. He was sharing and he said, to be honest, the relationships that didn't work, they're bad memories. And when you get into marriage, even though you're committed to these person, sometimes your mind goes back, you know, and begins to create issues for you, issues that we would not have had we not had those relationships. And we don't want to go into the whole soul tie vibe because I'm not a minister, and so I understand it, but not understand to share it on a platform and stuff like that. But I get when you are no longer with this person, but you still have these memories. You still walk in a room and it's like you're smelling their cologne. You're still having dreams and all of these stuff. And you're in a relationship laying beside your husband or laying beside your wife. How did that come about? Because the relationship came before and it did not work. Now, had you kept yourself, I remember speaking to some ladies, and one of them said, I wish I had my virginity to give to my husband. I wish I did because it was so precious. But at the time, she realized she would have already had sexual encounters and all of that good stuff. But she wanted for him to be the one. You understand? But guess what? When you're young and you're hot and you're all of that, that is not priority. And that is why I believe that, you know, train up a child. I think the word of God is so important, and just having a relationship with the Lord. God has to help you to pick your partner. So for men, because we women, we don't look men. Men hunt. I like watching the Discovery Channel. The male birds, they are the prettiest. The male lion, that's the one with the mane. Yes, these male animals and birds, they are gorgeous. Why? Because they're the ones on show. They're the ones going out and dancing and all of that to entertain a mate. So why you dey take up yourself and go look man? Don't look man. That backward. If you look them, you're going to have to keep them.
All right, I am going to read the comments. I'm not even, because you see, I realize that you're going off on a tangent that might have us here at 12 o'clock. So I am not, I am not going down that tangent with you.
Okay.
Not on this Sunday night. All right.
Back to you,
Minister,
Shane.
Minister Sky, Minister Poyser says, thank you. Minister Poyser also says, my first two children was a training ground for me. Yeah. And those two first ones might feel that they got the whatever end of the stick. She also marriage is a
Oh,
ministry.
yes.
I was going to ask, they said, what do you mean by ministry? What are you ministering? All right. So if she might respond, or you can respond when we're done reading the comments. Island Beauty Key, I said, I think I disagree with you there. I think that's when you were talking about marrying your friends where you grew up. And then I think I did ask, and you said you're
Yeah.
basically saying that. Yeah. So that was
Yes.
cleared up. All right. The length of time you know a person doesn't necessarily equate to a successful relationship. Yeah, that's
No, it
true.
does not.
Yeah. At times, the person you think you know might be a completely different person a couple of years from now. Um, marriage is sacred and should be a long life covenant ordained by God. Love, women don't look man. So please, if the woman sees somebody that she is very handsome, she shouldn't go up and say nothing. She just sit down there and just wait for the man. Men these days
Go
are shy.
pray. Go pray.
They,
As I think it's Minister Poiser, she said it, but the Bible said no man after the flesh. So you can't say, oh, I like this man because you like his container. You like his container, and that is fine because we have eyes to see. Yes, you like his container, his bone structure. For sure, you can. But is this somebody that you can live with? Is this somebody that you can suffer with? Is this somebody where if you are inflicted with a sickness, he's going to stay there with you? Is it that person? Because that is important. And when the minister said that it is a ministry because your relationship together should mirror the relationship between you and God. God doesn't leave you when you're sick. He doesn't leave you at any point. He said that he would never leave you nor forsake you. So he is always there. And God is saying, when you give your word, your vow to stay with this person in front of your friends or upper RGD or wherever you went to get married, you should keep your word. You shouldn't let, because you know what? Listen, when I met you, you had a six pack and now you have a keg. And what is that? What is that, babe? What's going on? Or you might say to the woman that, when I met you, you used to wear all those Brazilians and stuff. What you mean by you they go natural? What you they mean by what is that? But did you not know that you weren't getting married to a Brazilian? You were getting married to somebody of African descent and her hair defies gravity? Did you not know? So these are serious questions. You have to ask yourself, it might look good on paper, but you have to ask yourself these questions. Is this somebody that I can do with and make the decision to do it? Because after the sex done, after the going out, for those that are into after the taking pictures and post it, then what? Back in the day, I love those old movies with kings and all of that. Back in the day, you get married to take back territory. What territory is your marriage taking back? When you and your husband come together, which industry wanna go going and dominate? Shane, you're into on social media and all of that stuff. When your wife come along, you're supposed to be, a force to be reckoned with, taking back this territory on this platform because well, if mad people out here to talk all kind of mad things.
Can I tell you,
And
guys?
so you're coming together to show that that is the ministry, that is how you're
Mhm.
serving, that is how you're allowing both your light together to shine so that others will see. So it's more than just love and romance and all of that. That is necessary, that is important, and that takes effort. It takes effort. Remember, when you meet this person, Shane, it's you love the person, the person never come and introduce themselves and do the whole pop balloon thing. You met the person, and after spending time with the person, you decide that, what, this is a person that I would want to go the long haul with till death. And death is not the end. This is not the end. The YOLO, you only live once, is a lie. You only die once, but you live twice. And so you love this person based on what you saw. But what I realize is that when you get married, now you're like, okay, this person need to work to make sure that I keep loving them. But that wasn't how it was, and that's unfair. You loved me. You saw things to love me. So if it is a case where you came into my life and you love that I had chocolate skin, and you love that I am natural here, and I wear jewelry and all of that. Now that we get married, you now have to effort. You really have to look to say, okay, what is it that I like about her today? And take it one day at a time. Okay, it could be how the sun bounces off my skin. It could be how I laugh. It could be how I walk. It could be anything. But you have to choose to love this person daily, just like you choose God daily. It's not like you're not given options. There's always going to be somebody prettier, somebody sexier, somebody taller, somebody shorter, somebody broader, somebody with 100 packs. You understand what I say? But where you going to give up your marriage because you can't see Aunt Beatrice in shirts?
Sane and powerful words, Campbell. I'm going to read some comments. Uh, Marriage, that's Minister Poise. Marriage is sacred and should be a long life covenant ordained by God. I think I read that already.
Mhm.
J Bell said for real. Um, Minister Poise says every marriage is different. Every situation is not the same. J
Right.
Bell say also for real. Minister Poise again say marriage as a ministry is a reflection of God's love for the church. I agree with you. And J Bell, this is one of our best shows so far. We need more people to talk about relationship because we're losing good relationships. As a Christian woman, you shed some light on marrying out of church? Should we? All right, that's a good question. Go ahead and answer that.
Okay. So because I am a believer in Christ, I believe what he did for me. So it is not I who live, but Christ live in me because I died. I died. Yeah. I don't believe that you should be what they call uneven yoke.
Equally
And that
yoked.
is coming from the whole farming thing where you have an old ox and they yoke him to a new ox, and the old ox leads the way in order to work the land. No, the Bible says, can two walk together unless they agree? From life experience, I'm not going to say that it won't work. The relationship is going to fail, but it's going to take more work, because you can't tell that person, that girl that you pick up on the street as a Christian man, and take her into your home, and you go into church Saturday morning or Sunday morning, and she decides to look here, me not get up, because me they go out clubbing, or me just come in from party. You understand? You knew that this is how I was. So how comes now you want to change me? Love me as I am. Take me as I am. This is what you loved about me. You can't change. I don't believe we can change anybody. So if you make that decision, you have to pick your battles. That is not a battle that I would recommend anyone to pick based on Bible. It says if you're uneven yoke, it's not going to work. If you're an unbeliever and you go and marry outside of, and it doesn't have to be, say for a Christian getting married to somebody from a different culture, as we spoke about the Indians or whatever, you're gonna have to pick a side. You're gonna have to pick a side, even as a someone that worships on a Sunday, getting married to
Yeah.
someone that worships on a
So on a
Saturday.
Saturday.
I'm
Yeah.
not saying that you guys can't love each other, but when you look at it, if you're walking, your right foot can't go at Hanover and your left foot go at St. James. That is not that. How does that work? And then you might say, okay, it's fine when it's two of us, but when the children come into the mix, how does that work? When we decide to do business, how do we build the business ethics based on a divided house? So I don't believe that you should go outside of the church. Listen, you're saying when you leave church because you said no man no in a church. And that is a lie, because maybe no man no in a church in a Jamaica. Maybe you need to take a flight, go on different country. Well, if a man in the church, them a Africa. You understand? Maybe you're over there, so the whole of the man them there. Come out of your comfort zone. Travel. Travel and see. Ask the Lord. Go on a mission trip. Go serve. Go serve overseas. Maybe you will encounter your husband. Pray and say, God, I'm going to go. I'm trusting. If I know you turn me back. Simple. You understand? But don't go outside the church and go married one of. If God is our father, let's just say the devil is their father. How that go work? Devil go your father-in-law.
And yeah, a valid comments, but what if they are uh, they're a backslider, they got involved in a relationship and then they came back to Christ.
Mm-hmm.
They are now parents of
Mm-hmm.
children. What are they
Mm-hmm.
supposed to do? For example, in my mother's case, she was a backslider when she gave birth to me. But
Mm-hmm.
then by the time Marie came along, yeah, by the early 1990s, she had gone back to church.
Uh-huh.
And she got married. She and daddy got married and all of that. But daddy wasn't a Christian, but she had returned
Mm-hmm.
back to her first love.
Mm-hmm.
And well, she made it work. But for some persons, they might not have been able to make it work at all, because you have to be strong spiritually to deal with an individual who doesn't share your your faith, or is that as active in faith as you are. Because mommy was not a nominal Christian, she was and still is. Her faith was practiced at home wherever she is. So it's 1 o'clock in the night, and I know that daddy didn't enjoy it. So I could hear he was pissed sometimes. 1 o'clock in the night, 2 o'clock in the night, mommy just get up in the house, and she's all over the house carrying on, and she's take up the olive oil, and she walk, and she anoint, and she out and do,
Hallelujah.
and she do all of them mess up there. And sometimes I know daddy was like, what the heck are you doing, woman?
And that is it. And that is it. I really believe the uniqueness of each marriage is so important because
Yeah, yeah,
though your father did not see what your the effects of what your mother is doing, he doesn't know how many times he's on the road, and those midnight prayers were the
exactly.
prayers that caused the accidents not to happen. You don't know how many times you guys are coming from school and you miss things because of the prayers that went up. Remember, God is a faith God, and we're acting as if we're all natural. We are three parts. We have a mind, we have a spirit, we have a body. And so we cannot operate as if, oh, we are only body. We have a spirit and we also have a mind. You understand? And so we have to cater to all of those areas. We are from spirit, which is God. So we have to communicate with God. And if God said, get up and pray for your family, because God can see around the corner, we can't, then guess what? Daddy can't uncomfortable all in one, because guess what? Your mother never have to down at no hospital and leave uno up a yard to eat bread and tea while he recovers or anything like that, because we know prayer works. But
Yeah,
when you speak about the backsliding and the comeback, let me tell you something. The Bible tells us all the time. Me no know who backslide like the church, and
well,
God
that's true.
waits.
Hmm.
He
Hmm.
waits because sometimes it's a situation. It's the death of a child why you backslid. It's some persons backslide because some demon in the church probably sexually molest them. So they
Yeah,
somebody in leadership misrepresented
tempted
God.
God. Yeah,
And
yeah.
so
Hmm.
God in his grace and his mercy, he doesn't say it's backslide. It's just that somebody tampered,
Hmm. Hmm.
tampered with
Hmm.
your heart and broke your soul. And that's why when we say this 23rd Psalm, we say, restore my soul, because some of that has to happen. That is when this person can come back to God as this little girl, or come back to God as this little boy, and God can now fix it for the family.
Yeah,
And so I believe that there are different dimensions of grace that are released based on the situation. And God is the sovereign one. And so he is the one that monitors and handles that, while we put guards around ourselves where when we want to come back. It will take time, many times. Some people backslide for 10 years, some people backslide for 6 months, some people backslide every week. No, for real. But it has many times it's what persons are going through. Misunderstanding of the word, probably somebody in a church, somebody old trauma wounds that haven't been healed. All of this needs to be done, preferably before you get married, so that you don't have to impress this on somebody that you claim that you're loving. But if it is happening within the marriage, I do believe that God extends grace, and I believe he sends helpers. Helpers don't have to look like church people. It could be a co-worker, it could be somebody on YouTube, it could be a podcast, many different things, and it begins to change the individual minds. Roman tells us that we should be transformed by the
by the
renewing of
renewing.
our mind.
You know.
And not only that, the word of God begins to show us that, listen, when we are dealing with the wickedness of man, it doesn't mean that God is evil. We are just dealing with the wickedness of man, and we are living in fallen, So that is that I believe that is absolutely key. You can backslide in your very mind. Oh, you backslide in your mind first. Yeah, man. You have people sitting in church that backslide. They tell themselves, look here, me not come back next year, then time me not there. So yeah, probably in the church, sitting underneath the teaching. Listen, since we're talking about marriage and love, there are people that leave their partner while they're still sleeping in the same bed. So the day they pack up their stuff and leave is not the day they left. They've been left. They checked out long time ago. Their spirit was somewhere else. Their soul was somewhere else. When they're laying beside you, their mind is totally gone, and you know it. And that's why it's so important to be a praying spouse. It's so important. Both the man, honestly, men are the head, and I believe like the man feel, yeah man, always on his battle ramp, always praying. I know that many times the wives are more expressive and all of that, but there's nothing sexier than a praying man.
Speaking from my experience, my first marriage was at 18 years old. I was young and I went out of God will. I made my own choice and I had to live with the consequences after many years. God, and listen, and I think
Wow.
that's the issue I'm having with the charismatic that I've had with the charismatic movement. As someone who grew up in a traditional Baptist slash
Mhm, mhm.
Pentecostal Baptist from Manchester, and now that I'm in Hanover, I attend a strictly Pentecostal church. But growing up in a mixture of tradition and Pentecostalness, I think we have been fed a sort of obvious sort of spirituality or a magic sort of spirituality. That's wrong. Obvious is the wrong word. Where we fail to understand that whatever we do, that there are going to be consequences for our action, and we have to live with those consequences for our actions. And this idea that you're going to be able to speak in tongues and scream and roll and just and speak it away and fast it away or tithe it away, it is wrong. And I think that is why a lot of persons have walked away from faith and walked away from church. You will have to suffer the consequences of your actions. He will give you grace, He will give you mercy, He will give you the whatever needed to take you through. But you have to go through it. There is no poop and you're out of this. And that is and that is where I think the charismatic movement has failed a lot of our people.
And Shane, you are so right. I don't believe I didn't grow up in the church. I didn't grow up in the church, so there are many things that I didn't know. I went to God saying Mr. Jesus because me really never grew up in a church. Me
Mhm.
just never know. But the word of God doesn't lie. And we don't need to add anything. We don't need to edify God. The sun rises every day and edify him. You understand? Just tell the truth as it is. Don't bend it to fit into your world. You understand? To make you feel good. You stepping out of God that made the world and holds the earth on its axis. You're saying that God can't find a husband for you, so you have to come out of church, go find the husband. Like, really? You are saying that God is almighty, He's holy, He's unshakable, unmovable, but you don't believe it. And so the Bible tells us, I believe it was in Mark, when he says that it's not everything that you're seeing around you that you need to fix. It's not the fast and the this and the that. It's your unbelief. You need to believe. You need to believe what God says. You need to believe what Jesus says. Believe what God says about you. Believe his promises. And then guess what? Many people don't know the promises of God. So how you go? You
Mhm,
don't know
mhm.
it. You don't know it. But guess what? Satan is exploiting it. And there is a real devil. There is a real devil and he hates you. He doesn't want you now. Me tell somebody, me say, look here, when you don't married, you want hump like you're a rabbit. Why you always horny? When you're not married, when you're almost married, you're horny. You're just everywhere. It's like, it's like you can't. And then you come into marriage and then it's like it's dissipating. It's like what is happening? It's not like you're not trying, but something happens because there's a force that is working against unity. It is in unity that the blessing is commanded. Me no business when nobody say group work at school when we're easier than when you have to do the project by yourself. It was always you do less and all of that. The Bible tells us that two is better than one. Two income is a household is better. Let's put it on paper then. Let if we say we're not two income in a household is better than one when we're tackling JPS and Flow and those people, right? Two income in the house is better than one when you think about grocery and all of that stuff. Two is better than one when you have children, when you need assistance. Two is better. Two car is better than one car. So when one broke down, you can drive the other one and the other one in a garage. We have to get realistic in what is happening. Two is better than one. Two is better than one. If you're sick, somebody can make you some tea. Hello, I remember when I was sick and I was single at the time. I say, Shane, me so sick. Me come out the bathroom and I happen to throw up. And the throw up, me pass out. I have to gather myself. And when the Lord brought me back to myself, I had to clean up myself and then go back into the bed. Whereas when you have a partner, you have help. You have help. God could have made Adam alone. He never
Yeah.
had to go ahead and make Eve. He didn't
Mhm.
have to. God
Mhm.
could have made one lion for run up and down and Simba out. You understand? God could have made one, but he didn't. He said two is better than one all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
And if you don't see, if you're the build a house, two is better than one. The length of time that you're going to take to do whatever you're doing, if you have two income or you have two persons running a business, two minds, we always say, oh, four eye better than two. Me dey look for something me can't find it. You come in, you have a fresh set of eyes, you have fresh thoughts, and you're more than your physical, your intellect. You come with your amazing giftings and talents, and you bring it now. And I mean, I just greatness.
Yeah.
Anybody when I want union, I don't know. I guess I mean how you go what are you going to enjoy? You can't enjoy wealth by yourself. You need if I even friends you need. Make your rich people
Yeah.
have friends. Hire people to come at them party and all of these things. Because you get to the zenith where you have earned everything based on your what you think achievement and success is. But what is success? What is success when there's no one to share it with? What is success when you are the only one? What are you building and who are you building it for and in the name of what? And if it's you alone, then guess what? You're not going to be around for another 100 years, and then you're probably not going to be remembered. You're then going to say, oh, the old man, they when live around this are the old man. Them. I don't know if he ain't have no pitney. I don't know, me never seen with no husband. Me never this, me never that, me never rare. But I promise you, when there's a husband and a wife, boy, Mr. Spencer, Miss Spence, me always see them on the veranda, they drink tea. Boy, I remember when Mr. Spence teeth drop out and Miss Spence take up your and wipe your and say, come man, and and you have you see those things. And it's not only that, God ordained it. Not even God in himself is lonely. It's the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit,
Yeah.
though he is
Mhm.
all one. God is
Mhm.
always about family. He's always about community.
Even in psychology, there's no one because there is the id, the ego, and the super ego. There is so so according to Freud.
and
Oh gosh.
and our correctional system knows it as well. They know that one of the
Yeah.
most dangerous things to do is to leave a man to his own thought. That's why solitary confinement is one of the
Yes.
most
Yes.
effective
Yes.
strategy
Punishment. Yes.
in
Hmm. Hmm.
correcting.
Hmm.
So I mean, singleness is not solitary confinement because
Hmm.
you're single unto God. You
Yeah.
have and we do encourage that you have healthy friendships when you are single. You understand? But if a sex you dey run down, what after the sex? What after the sex?
Yeah. Yeah.
What after? Then what?
Then what? All right. Then what? I am going to say I'm going to pause and welcome all of us. This has been a scintillating, intelligent, uplifting, powerful conversation with um, Shantalee Black. And she is author, entrepreneur, and certified youth development coach. I'm your host, Shane Reed. This is Real Life on JBL Entertainment TV, and we're sponsored by Sky Beach Restaurant, Bar, and Grill. We are live. We are supposed to be live on Facebook and YouTube and also Instagram. We are also on Emmet. I know that well, cable might they're having some challenges, and Emmet goes from Westmoreland straight through to St. Anne.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the channel, I think barely it's channel 100. So I don't think the channel is up and running, but when things are sorted out, you will start to see J Bell again on cable. So guys, we're all over the place. And we have been around for kind of 8 years, but fooling around on and off. And this time you do this time you going to school, going to do masters, and you can do all sorts of stuff involving politics and this and that. I have no
Oh,
time for this. So, but now though, starting this year, I have, decided to say, all right, it's fooling around is done, and we're actually going to work on this and make it work. And you're going to be seeing more of us and hearing more of us. And we're going to be mosquito give me problems. Sorry, guys. And we're going to be having more conversation like this that we're having with Shantali. It's not the ordinary conversations that you see that we typically do in Jamaica. I am not into the cascas and the couscous as a man. That's not how I was raised. I'm not into tricks and that's so yeah, I can't do that stuff. So we're going to be having these sort of conversations. Sometimes they're going to be long podcasts, like, or they're going to be very short, like a long or short or 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and sometimes they're going to be like this. We are in an hour and 20 minutes because it is sweet and it is interesting and it is information that we need. All right, cool. So I'm going to be reading the comments, and then Campbell, you've basically every now and then I pop down on my questions, and I am like, what the heck? They still answer. So guys, you will see me look down, and I'm like, should I ask? I'm chatting to myself in my head. Should I ask this because I think she has answered this? All right, but uh, let's see. All right, I am now married again at 44 years old, and I thank God for his guidance
beautiful.
because I remember I used to pray about it, and God said to me, "It is not your time. The harvest is ready, but the laborers are few." So
Mm,
Minister Poise had said that she had gotten married at age 18. It was not what it was meant to be, and then whatever happened, she's now,
mm-hmm.
we understand. Thank you for sharing that, and thank
Thank
you
you
for
for
being so
that.
open. Bell, I see the question, but let me read. Bell said, Amia talk love, Amia talk love. I don't know, Bell. I don't think she was throwing stones at you. If you
I
assume
don't know you.
if you assume that she is, they said there's a thing that if you throw a stone in a pig pen,
I the one with ball out, it
get
link.
the healing.
But there's nothing unique to us as humans. My mother used to say, Shan, there's nothing new underneath the sun. So we have conversations like this so we can learn from each other's experience. It's just that us as humans, we're very slow learners.
Yeah, I saw this comment and I left my husband. I left my first husband 3 years in my mind.
Wow.
How do
Before,
you leave a situation mentally, but then you're still in it physically for
what
three
do you
years?
mean?
Isn't that
Imagination.
isn't that schizophrenic though? Aren't
No, it's
you?
not schizophrenic. It is not
And it's not schizophrenic in the
in the scientific sense
sense of
of having
schizophrenic.
multiple. Mm-mm.
Yes,
Mm.
but
But
it is a dichotomy that is like damn.
you are literally you have separated, and this is dangerous.
Of
This
course,
is
it has
so
got to be
dangerous. You
dangerous.
understand? I think this is where virtual reality gets their idea from, where you can be in a house but you're in an alternate reality, being assisted with these technology and stuff. But it's something that really happens. You can be sitting in a group and you can tell persons to close their eyes. Imagine you're at the beach. Imagine you're hearing the waves and smelling the salt and all of that. And then when they come out of that, they can tell you that they tasted the salt. That is how powerful the mind is. That is why that is where the battle is. And if you leave somebody in your mind, it's only a matter of time before they leave physically. They normally say women leave in their mind first. You understand? But you do have men that they literally leave. You realize that you're not having the conversations anymore. They begin to have conversations with you and saying, "Oh, I never you," like conversations with other persons, and then saying, "Oh, it's you I had this conversation with." And you're like, "No, it was not me." You realize that intimacy begins to deteriorate because you're no longer sharing. You're no longer into me, see, literally. You're no longer connecting with this person. You're just there going with the flow. So if you're cooking, you're washing, you're taking care of the children, all of that, a brother and sister thing, gonna probably not sleep head and tail, but no dugu dugu na happen. We understand? Like you wanna just dey live. Wanna just dey live. The bills are pay, all of that. If you not have to talk, wanna talk, but it's not, it's very surface, it's nothing deep. It's not how was your day because I care. It's not. You understand? And so I can understand that, and I can understand the torture because every day that person must be thinking, how am I gonna exit? How am I going to exit? What are people going to say? What is my church going to say? When my workplace, they go say, what the children, them, they go through all of that. So you have all of that that is happening. And I'm saying, some persons have to leave because that, the Lord allows it in his permissive will, because I don't think his perfect will is for us to get hurt and all of that stuff. But some people leave even though one of the partner wanted them to stay. They wanted the marriage, they wanted to work on it. But I always say, you see, persons with option, they're very willing to work on certain things when there are options, when you have given yourself options. And that is why I said earlier in this interview that it is your vows that keep you. It's not you that keep your vows. Your vows are literally the borders, the boundaries that you set around your relationship, trusting God to help you. Because us Bible said we can't do it. We can't do it. We cannot do it by ourselves. You understand? We talk about us growing and all of that, Shane. People change, and you have to trust in God to help you, to give you the wisdom for the things of wisdom and faith for the things of faith and all of that stuff in order to handle this person, this entire person, their mind, their spirit, their body, all of that. This is what we're handling when we're in a relationship. It's not just, oh, me not attractive to you anymore, so me gone. But how do you know that? What happened? Do you know what happened? Why you think, if it's not abuse and all that? Because there are certain situations that are unique, and I don't recommend anybody staying in any abusive
And I think you have
relationship.
basically answered Bella's question. What if you and your husband are Christian and he's abusive to you, even though we should no
No,
no no
separate,
no they yeah separate.
separate,
They basically they uh
separate.
yeah, basically as Jesus, no, he wasn't. Hold on, let me not misquote my Bible now. As it says, in case of what, adultery,
Infidelity, yeah.
infidelity, you divorce, and even same thing for abuse. The idea is though, um, uh, you don't remarry,
Mm-mm.
so
So you
good.
just you just separate unto God.
You
You
do
don't
not
separate because
remarry.
you see something better because you're
Yes.
window shopping. But as you said, if it's a Christian relationship and one of the partner is abusive, because you have some abusive woman out there too. I don't want to feel like say the man them alone. You have some really abusive woman where they thump up the man them and they hurt them, you know. And you're not divorced. Separation is important because it has to be a broken part of that person's humanity while they're functioning like this. There's this movie that I watched, and you can watch it too, Shane. I encourage you to watch it. It's called The Shack. I don't remember the actors in it, but it's on YouTube for free. It's called The Shack, and it's about forgiveness. Listen to me. It shows you how you don't know what a person is going through or why the person is operating in your life, how they're operating. And when when in the movie they showed you what happened to a young man's father. His father was abused by his father. And so guess what? His father was abusive to him and his mother. But The Shack is what the movie is called. It is a good watch. It's clean. You understand? So you don't have to worry about it being, nudity and all that stuff. It's strictly PG. It's a good watch on forgiveness. And that is important. And nobody talks about forgiveness. Divorce comes about many times because there is no forgiveness. We don't forgive.
All right. Bell say, me get a box one. Me get a box one time. All star Missy. Um,
What?
uh,
Me tell you, you have some abusive woman out there. For real.
I'm
Ladies,
not
stop
laughing
it.
at you, Bell. I'm not laughing at you. But yeah, yeah. Bob
Yeah.
Marley song, Emancipate Yourself from Mental Slavery. I see the question, and it's a question that I should have asked. But
When you fall
can,
out of love with your spouse.
yes, answer the question, Campbell.
Falling out of love, it's a decision. You are going to choose to not love this person anymore. And I guarantee that this fall out of love phrase comes because there is an option, because you're not falling out of love to be by yourself with God. You're falling out of love to probably be with another woman or to be with another man or what you think is better many times. If you're not being abused or anything like that, you have to know, introspect and say, okay, sometimes you have to go back, we do this in church many times. How was it when you first came to Christ? They tend to do that. Remember what it was like. Maybe it was a downtime. I didn't come to Jesus. I
Roll
was
back the curtains of memory
yeah,
now and then.
sure. We forget easily. Sometimes we have to go back. What was it that you loved about this person first? You understand? And then you begin to say, Father, open my eyes. Let me see your son or let me see your daughter how you see them. Help me to love them how you love them, Father and God. Set back the fire in our relationship. Let our bed burn with love making. Yes, take it to the Lord in prayer and pray it through. Well, if you're unsaved, me no know where you go do. Because, a prayer, me kind of rock and come in for the prayer a lot because, and that is my belief. But I believe that if you want your relationship, your question is going to be, what will it cost me to keep it? What will it cost me to make it work? And if this is the question that both persons are asking because we both want to give and we both want to love, then it can work. My first husband went out with someone else pregnant, and I was willing to live with it. Oh, wow. But I remember I prayed to God and the answer came, hence divorce came. Well, and guess what? If you said the Lord said that to you, minister, then guess what? That is a relationship. We don't talk personal consecration. We don't get into because what he says to you, minister, he may not say to Shane and he may not say to me. And so personal consecration is not something that I discuss because God deals with us. Based on where we are and based on his word. So if he says that, you understand? If he said that to you, then you have to trust that he said it to you and that is your relationship. And that's why we have to understand that everybody's relationship with the Lord is personal first. So you're not go business what the community go say, you're not go business what the church and the pastor go say. I went to the Lord, this is what the Lord said. I got my confirmation. I stood on my word, all of that, all of that, all of that. Yes, if I was wrong, the Lord will correct me. But I truly believe that it was God that said this to me, and I left. Simple. You understand? Us going around and explaining why my relationship, why I did this and why I did that. Most times when God tells you to do certain things, it don't make no sense. It makes no sense because we cannot reason faith. Faith rarely makes sense, just like forgiveness don't make sense. You they forgive a person and they say, oh, but me not feel this and me not feel that and whatever. It's not a feeling because it's supernatural. It is supernatural. And the thing about the Christian faith, many things about it, really. We believe that a God came down, died, rose bodily, went into heaven, he walked on water, he multiplied. The things that we believe, other people will call us mad. But by faith, we believe and we stand on it. You understand? To live to Christ, to live is for Christ. You know, if Paul said it, he said, look here, if me mad, I because me out of my mind for God. Yeah. If me mad, I because me mad for Christ.
Foolish, yes, in a sense, and the foolishness of I forgot that scripture. In a sense, she's basically saying that there are things that to the world will seems like foolishness, but to Christ and to those who are in Christ,
For
in
those,
Christ,
for those that are in sin, the ways of God is like
it's
the
foolishness.
gospel of
Yes,
foolishness to them, to unbelievers. And
to
it's supposed to
unbelievers.
be because
Yes,
their mind are renew.
yeah. Um,
That was my
r-
question, Jermaine. Since God said we are not to divorce, what if there is infidelity? But the Bible says that. The Bible
yeah,
says,
you can
okay,
divorce.
if there is infidelity and you can't, remember, I know, forgiveness trump that because you must be able to forgive. The person fell. Infidelity don't mean that there was a long relationship, it meant that in a moment the person slipped. But because we're looking at infidelity in a different category of
As
sin
in they are in a
than
relationship with.
drinking rum and smoking weed and probably taking drugs. It's the same sin. It's the same sin. So how does forgiveness work? Christ would forgive us right across the board. Can you forgive me for having that moment of weakness and trust that I will spend the rest of my life loving you and asking God to help me to have you trust me again? That's forgiveness. That is forgiveness. And guess what? It's hard. But think about some of the things where we do, and God forgive us. And He says He forgave first. And there's so many scriptures in the Bible and parables that say, "Oh, I forgive, so you should forgive." So infidelity is just harder than some of the other ones, but it
Yeah.
comes down to forgiveness. Can you forgive? And if you can't, and you can't say, "Okay, me go forgive him, but me not forget." And that's a forgiveness word. Read the Bible.
All right. Rasta Black
If your husband.
says, if your husband is respected in the house, he would stay home. So I think he's throwing in another
Mm-hmm.
idea that a lot of times the husband walk out because he has lost his pants or the pants has been taken away from him by the woman.
Um, I do believe, I strongly believe that respect plays a huge role. The Bible never say, wife, love your husband, even though in scripture we are supposed to love each other. But it did say respect the man because we are made differently. How you understand me loving you is how I respect you. So you telling the man say, what you do with yourself? Like me not understand like from when you dey work they say you can't get one raised or you can't find something else to do or whatever. You are tearing down the God in the man. I once heard somebody say that there are two characters in a man. There is the fool and there is the king. And the one that will come out is the king. So when your man is not showing his kingship because maybe losing crown somewhere because life beats down on them. Onus is
Yeah.
on you if you say, don't worry yourself, babe, you can do this. I got your back. No worry yourself. We go at it again. We go pray. We go put like a fasting on it, babes. Me love you and me and you. And you speak into that man. Come on now. I promise you, he will come back like Simba. Honestly, with a roar. With a roar, speak into that man. Like how you would have speaking to your son. Your husband is somebody's son. And you have to remember, sometimes you look at your husband forgetting, and for those that have boys, you look at your husband forgetting that your son is one day going to be somebody's husband. So how you they deal with your son? Me feel like I say you feel to deal with your husband with the same patience, with the same understanding. You understand? You meet your son at a level, and you not make excuse, but you give him more grace. But why do your husband is somebody's son? Why don't you do that? Why don't you do that for your husband as well? And as Rasta said, I totally agree. Respect is key. You have some greedy man will go out there same way. You understand? Because them just greedy and out there for something else. But respect is key. And when you find that they leave when there is respect in the house, they not left their wife.
No, no,
So
no.
even if they go out there, go do whatever, then they
Nope.
come back to their wife. No matter what the side chick come do or whatever, them matey or whatever, then go say, look here, you can't disrespect my wife. Then cut it off. Because the wife is the wife and the wife now. If there's respect in the house, they might go mess up, but they're not leaving their wives. So I'm not saying that if respect
Yeah,
in the
we
house,
know that. We know that. And
but
that woman will just have to suffice will be in a matey.
you understand? And
Yeah.
most times, those wives are very understands, like, babe, I'm so sick and tired, and she suffers under it. And guess what? God gives her grace, and it's counted unto her as righteousness.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man. Sometimes it's rough.
Yeah.
It's rough. But guess what? As we come back to Christ and the church, the church is the church do all kind of things.
Yeah. So all right. So we are going to do a question audit. So I'm going to
Okay.
run through some questions, and you can tell me if we have answered these questions without me even asking these questions.
Okay.
So can you fall out of love, or is love a choice? I think we answered
Yeah, we
that
answer
question.
that.
Yes. What makes a marriage last? I think we answered that question. Did we? Yeah. If there's something that you did not say, you can say it right now. What
A
makes a
marriage
marriage
lasts when
last?
both persons want it to work. That is when it lasts. When you agree that it is going to work, both persons, because it can be one hand, because one person can. We have to remember that we do have this gift called choice. And if the person does not want to stay, you cannot make them stay. You have to remember that, and you
Hmm.
have to trust that, what, if they're leaving, it could be for a season, it could be that this is the end of this journey. Because God, if God not go force you to choose him as God and allow you people to say, no, God not exists, you think he go force the man to stay with you or force the woman to stay with you?
Exactly, exactly,
I
exactly.
don't think
Hmm.
things may happen down the line and the person's mind might change,
Hmm.
but as to the weight and all of that stuff, I think that is something that you have to take to the Lord in prayer as an individual.
All right, perfect response. Do you believe compatibility is found or built? I think we got into that somewhat.
Somewhat.
But is there anything else that you want to add? So, do you believe compatibility is found or built?
You bond in courting based on compatibility. And if you ask the right questions during courting, you will know. You will
Hmm.
know. So you have to be compatible with it. Well, I don't want to use that word loosely, but there has to be things about this individual that you like. And as we said earlier in the interview, things that you're willing to die in you in order to make it work. You're going to say, okay, you know what? I don't have to, you know. If my husband says he doesn't like when I wear leggings, if I don't wear leggings, I'm not going to die. So I can just say, you know what? That's fine, babe. I'll wear skinny jeans. you know? But you allow part of you to die, or you're willing to give up. You're willing to give up for the sake of the marriage and for the sake of the love that you have for this person.
All right, so we have answered that one. Is and I soon come to the comments, guys. Is marriage harder or easier than people make it seem?
Marriage is hard. Marriage is war. Marriage is work. But
Why
marriage is
you
worship.
why you're making the people afraid?
Don't be afraid, because it's war
What
to
do you mean by
defend you as
marriage?
well.
What
All
you mean
right.
by marriage is war?
Remember, you have to pick your battles. You have to pick your battles. You have to remember, we said two is better than one. I
Yeah.
rather be war knowing that you have my back more than be out there to war myself. Two is better than one. Yes, Shane, it is war. It is war to stay together. And why it's war is because we have an enemy. It's light and darkness is kingdom, and marriage is of God. So Satan now go like it. He won't. And that is why all of Hollywood is that, listen, Hollywood is the devil's prophet. So if Hollywood loved marriage, Mother said, I know from God. But they don't.
But ironically, they don't. I have been listening another individual that I listened to, Shapiro, and he says this: those individuals portray marriage as being not the ideal in movies or in whatever, but they are married.
Exactly.
They are married, and they are normally in a stable relationship for the
Money.
most part.
Money. What you mean? Remember, say the man do it for free. So what does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? I will say, okay, there is an actor, I don't remember his name. He said in all his movie, he's always the villain. He will kill, he will fight, he will do that. He says he will never play a sex role because his children should never see him kissing anybody but their mother on screen.
Yeah,
Hello?
yeah, yeah.
Listen, there are those that will protect their family, and they will put whatever out there. It's up to us to protect ours. And they will tell
Yeah,
you, my family will never watch any movie
yeah,
that I do. They tell you.
yeah. And a farmer artist said, well, not a farmer artist, he's still an artist, and he's basically saying that my children don't listen to those music.
Okay. Okay. I think it was the man that did iPad. I think it's the iPad man. I don't
Yeah, they
remember.
send them to school that don't use
Yeah, they don't do screen. They don't
yes,
do
yes,
screen. They said they're around
Montessori.
the dining table
Yeah,
talking about stocks and all of that.
yes,
They
yes,
put it out there.
yeah, yeah. They send
So
them to
you
Mont.
have to listen to the conversations within the conversations. And
Yeah,
I always say, whatever is promoted in this world is
yeah.
the total opposite of what
Opposite. Yeah.
God is saying. Just like, oh, we know that the whole same-sex vibe, we're not going
Mm-hmm.
there because that's
Mm-hmm.
not this, that is not what we're discussing now. Why is
Mm-hmm.
it being promoted and propagated everywhere? Because
Yeah,
it is
yeah.
not of God.
Mm-hmm. It was so surprised. I was so surprised because in my other life, I'm an educator, and
You're colorblind.
I yeah, I have split.
You have to give up the person, the different
Yes,
people.
yes. So they said that there's this big thing about ICT in in education and using this, and then there are the Montessori schools. These are schools that the elite, these individuals who make these devices,
Mhm,
invest in all of these technology, all of these apps, all of these
mhm,
social media platforms. They are the owners and backers of it, and their children do not use tablets, they don't use phones, and they don't go to schools with screens and all of these things.
nope.
They go to school where they use the sort of things that this tell he's this Greek philosopher would those sort of converse. Hey, name again, you know who me I talk, man. that
Who
those
that?
shucks, the brain, it will come back to me.
It will come
Um,
back, people.
yeah, it will come back to me. These sort of conversations. You don't have no computer in the class and no big TV in the class and the students sitting and work. No, no, no.
No, they
Yeah.
use abacus
Yeah,
and
the traditional. Yeah.
and robotics, and the
Mhm.
schools that their children go to, the children get to go outside and play
And play,
for
yeah.
hours of the day, and then they come in and
Hmm.
they do art, and then
And
they listen to
yes.
classical music, and then they allow them to express themselves and to, yeah, they tell you that.
Yeah. Let me read some of the comments now. So, I think we read my first husband. Yeah, amen. Is your husband? Da da da. I read it, Ross, because I remember my daughter got into a relationship. And let me tell you guys something. We began to pray, and God said we should get out of His way, love. Now I have a son. Now I have a son. Oh, so you are trying to end that relationship, and
Oh,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Cool. I forgive my ex-husband and the woman he got pregnant during our marriage. Thank God for deliverance.
praise the Lord, praise the Lord. Forgiveness,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. We must always remember that man is the head of the house as Christ is the head of the church. Woman is the help meet. Our duty to pray for the husband. Yeah.
Strategy, yeah.
Yes. Yes, war, and we take on each other battles. Sometimes the warfare turn up. We have to destroy some evil altar that is. Yeah, my mother used to.
The 1 o'clock prayers.
She the other day a conversation with her because sometimes you say you grow up and you see your mother as this strong woman of God. And we were talking the other day, and she said to me that there were period of times when she felt as if she was going mad because we didn't know this. I had no idea because what I saw was this warrior. This I remember I used to see mommy leave every Saturday and just disappear. I said, I don't know where mommy I go. Where mommy I go every until one day she decided that she's going to take me along because I was like, what the heck? Where are you going, woman? And then she took me to where she was going at the time. And we went, it was one of the mothers of the church. And I had no idea the mother of the church, one of the mothers of the church, was living in the circumstances, the physical circumstances that
Mm,
she was living in. So,
mm.
plus spiritual circumstances that came along with that. And I remember when I went there that Saturday and I was in that prayer meeting and mommy was doing, and I was just in the house and I was just looking around. I'm saying, what the heck? This is where they live. This is
Oh
where they,
God.
and I'm like, and that was where one of my best friends lived at the time too. But it's not like they came to church and spoke about their
You
business. And
don't
so
know.
I had absolutely no idea what they were going
You
through.
don't
But
know.
mommy was quietly leaving us to go and pray with her and have prayer meeting with them on a Saturday and all of that.
Spiritual strength,
Yeah,
yeah.
so when she's now telling me that there were period of times when she was she was at home and she's dealing with so much spiritual warfare that at times mentally it's as if she was going crazy. And I'm like,
Mm.
seriously? So all of
Yes,
them
because
2 o'clock.
and people buckle, yes.
I remember one night, that time Mandeville had the theater. The theater was just open recently. And
Mm.
I went and then we went to movie and I came home like 2 o'clock. So I bust the door and come in and she was right there sitting in the hall. And she was praying. So I just pass her, lock the door, walk past her and go on my bed. Wake up in the morning and she said, Jesus Christ, you think you alone walking, come in here last night? And I'm like, oh God, mommy, you're not going to do this to me now. Because she said, you know how much battles I had to fight after you come in here
And Ghana, your
and
bed.
gone at your bed. And me I said, mommy, I said, mommy can't tell me all of this. Me go a movie, me have fun, me come in 2 o'clock in the morning. Why no me wake up and come tell me say you were
Yeah, man, the
there
spirit never knows
fighting?
that there was a soldier on watch. Big
exactly.
ups
And
to
I'm
the
like,
prayer warriors, mothers and fathers.
cause
Amazing. Yeah.
me just a go home, me a go home and me a
Yeah,
business, me a
but
go
you
on me
don't know how
yard.
they have. Remember, you're coming from a movie. Spirit
Exactly.
transfer through screens. You don't know what you pick up, what kind of sexual demons or
Hmm.
evil spirit. You probably fall sick the next day. Anything could have happened.
Yeah, yeah.
But your mother prayed.
Yeah, yeah. So seriously, yeah, so those things can be draining. I didn't know that, but
Mhm.
as we are older now, especially me, and she's having conversations with me, I am seeing an eye into the world of the individual who stands in the gap, and she fights battles for the family. Sometimes when she tells me some stuff, like in the dream she can see,
Yes.
like, ancestors and all of these things, and it's like when them things say, all right, you guys are good now, they just pack up and go, and I'm like, mommy, what the heck are you saying? And she say, yeah, me see that what me see. I mean, no say is daddy is Marsam. I mean, no say is Marsam people them that one is from Richie. Me no say the Indian one that. I mean, no say then come from Dessa. I mean, no say then come. I mean, say, mommy, what the you
Because
talk
the
about?
Holy Spirit knows all things. It's the spirit on the inside of her that is
Yeah.
giving her insight and foresight. Thank
Hmm.
God. Listen, God
Hmm.
is sovereign. God is past, present, future. He's eternity. He's not now. He's not
Yeah.
tomorrow. He's not
Yeah.
yesterday. He's eternity. So everything is, it's like you're looking in a fishbowl and you're seeing everything,
Yeah. Yeah.
literally seeing every
Yeah.
single thing. J Bell has a question.
Yeah. Yes.
How do you
Answer the
handle
question.
disagreements or conflicts with your partner? And do you think it's a deal breaker if you can't see eye to eye on everything? Um, First, I do believe that each person's how you handle disagreements in each relationship vary based on the person's personality. First, you have to agree that we both want this to work. So, what we are disagreeing on, it doesn't mean that I love you any less. You get what I'm saying, Shane? This is
Hmm.
not what we're saying. But how are we going to handle it? For me, most women, I realize we are talkers. So we want to talk about the situation as it happened, and we just want to deal with it and get it over with. However, I have observed that with my past partner, he tends to process longer than I, right? And so before I used to think that he is just shutting me out and he don't want to talk about it and he is insensitive to my feelings. But then I read books and I did research and I learned that listen, some men are like rubber bands. They will pull away, but they always snap back. So sometimes they need time. And so I go to him. So when we don't have an agreement, I'll say, honey, if we should have any disagreement, how do you want us to handle it? You know that I want to talk it over and all of that. And if me open up my feelings, no bedroom happenings now go on because my brain and all, yes, Shane. And so how? And he would say, all right, give me some time. And he has to tell me, okay, so give you some time. What does some time look like? 3 hours a day? Weekend? You have to give me a time because we are women and we dey mark the time mentally. And when the time come, we are going to say, okay, we're ready now because we want to, our aim
Hmm.
is for harmony to come back to the household, depending on the
Hmm.
situation. And so men tend to go and think it's not that they're going away to be sinister and to come up with no lie or whatever. And as I said, it's contending for the another's highest good. So you can't be thinking that, oh, a line go they tell, that's why I want time for plan and strategize. No, they just have to go away and they have to compartmentalize. I hear that women are like spaghetti, so we can have like 4 conversations all over. So we're like spaghetti, we're all over each other. Whereas men are like waffles, so they're in squares. So school, work, home, wife, children. So until we deal with this, he's not going to go over in that. And that's some men. And that's why it's important that communication is exercised in the relationship. And it don't mean always sitting and talking. It could be playing games so you see how your partner responds and how he thinks and how he reacts. You know, you can try with Ludi because, you know, we have a game here in Jamaica that we call Ludi. You know, how he reacts in Ludi, how he reacts when it's a card game, how does he react when it's, you know, something else. You have to, you know, observe, study your partner so that you will know him and then you will know how do you handle disagreement. So when something happens, something that I do not raise my voice at my partner in public. So if him do something, he could have bun me, I may all one ball, I just swallow it, I'm wait till we go in the car. And then me might say, Babes, me really never respect how you talk to me, you know, and tell him how me feel about it, but I will never blurt out, how you chat to so? How you? No, I would never. I would never, and that is important. And men, you know, rough up your woman, your queen in public. Like, come on, this is your wifey, this is your queen, this is the mother of your child, this is the person that carries on your legacy, this is your backative, this is the one you go to war with. And why would you deal with this person? And then guess what? You may never deal with a stranger like this. So I think that is important, and it comes back to what one of our viewers said, that respect is key on both sides.
Right, yeah.
Respect is key. And if I love you, I will respect you. Me not go on you embarrassed out a road. They say as what they say, do and don't do unto others as do unto others as you would
As
have
you would
them
have them
do
to.
unto you in a good sense. You know, and so I wouldn't want somebody to shout at me in public, so I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, this thing where you and we're going to play a video, and Belle can get the video up. This thing where you put everything on TikTok. That's not how I grew up. We whatever challenges we have as a family, we deal with it, and we wipe them out like a white fall, what a common fall, a white fall, and we go on a road, and we are the Reeds family.
Yes. We are the family to
Yeah.
be content with. Yes.
You're not
Unity.
gonna know, yeah, you're not gonna know what we are dealing with around a state, man, and what we deal with. That is ours. And we now carry come out of public and wash it in the public and
Exactly.
mouth lock, and we go about with business.
And that is why the church should not come up against the church. You shouldn't
Yeah.
be
It is just
criticizing
about
a member of the body of Christ. You shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. You understand? Just like, oh, show up your family. You don't go around go talk about your wife or go around go talk about your husband. That
Yeah.
can't work. That cannot work. I don't know if you want to do the video, but J Bell had a question about when do you know next level, like
Yeah.
getting serious or moving in together when you're married. Yeah. How do you know when it's time to take your relationship to the next level? When you're ready to marry. Am I ready to die for this woman?
Oh, okay.
Yes. And then you commit. And when you commit, that is your serious move. There's no other serious. There's no
So
other serious. You get
soul.
married and then you work with it.
All right. Video. So soul intimacy versus sexual intimacy. Which one is more important for love?
I would say soul intimacy. Persons will probably disagree with me because sexual intimacy is what most persons crave towards. But I believe that once you have soul intimacy, the sexual intimacy aspect comes along with it because you're going to build a meaningful connection with that person. You're going to have a lifelong bond, and that will create a friendship as well. So once you have that and you see that person as your own, in that regards, sexual intimacy or sexual activities is just a bonus to that. And I think it even makes those activities stronger. So I would say once you have a great foundation of soul intimacy, sexual intimacy just follows suit, and they both go hand in hand. But the foundation for a successful relationship, you have to have emotional intelligence. So the emotional aspect has to be there. You can get sex from anywhere, it just comes and goes. But once you have a real connection with someone, trust me, it just continues to grow and happiness continues to develop, and the sex becomes more fire. So soul intimacy, then sexual intimacy follows.
Do you agree? Do you concur?
I do. I don't. I know you said soul versus
Sexual.
physical,
Sexual.
sexual.
Mhm.
Sexual intimacy happens in the soul. Your soul is your mind, your will, which is your choice, and your emotions. So, sex for women does not begin when you begin to take her clothes off and nibble on her neck and blow in her ears and caress her. That's not where sex starts for women, right? So, sexual activities begin in the woman's mind before you're even in the same proximity. You understand? So, I agree that it happens here first, like everything else. A house is built in your mind before you ever lay a block. Like most things around us, everything happens in our mind before it manifests into this 3D dimension. And it is important that if she said, it's stronger if it happens there first. And just want to give a little scenario that I've heard, that, man cheating and had issues with the person they're cheating with, but they were on fire and burning and came in to their partner and had passionate sex. And the partner was saying, "Oh my God, but it was so passionate. We've never, you know, gotten it on like that." But he was thinking about somebody else when he was with the wife physically. So it is so important. Hey, and that's why God is in the mix. That's why God is in the mix. And that's why it's, trust is so necessary. I mean, she may never know. The wife may never know, you know, but the your mind being engaged, you thinking about the person. The Bible says it this way, that Solomon speaks about the rise of her breasts and all of that good stuff. So you see your face, you read your Bible. So the mind is engaged long before, even with the man. He is now saying, "Babes, I can't wait to see you," and he begins to tell you all the things that he wants to do and all of that in your covenant. It's way better when it's covenant. It's safer and you don't have to worry about nothing. So we're talking about marriage here. Let me make myself clear. You understand? If you're out there fornicating, you're depending on your own. If you're out there having adultery, you're depending on your own. You understand? You're depending on your own. God help you, as they would have said.
You see the question.
I know the word said no. Some people have a concept not buying any puss in a bag, even church people. What are your thoughts? I think if the God of the universe can build the sea and everything in it, and he can build the coconut and put water in the coconut, and us not knowing how the water got in the coconut, I think he can find you a good man. And if you have nothing to compare it to, how will you know that it isn't the best?
So, in a sense, you're saying that there should be no, ideally, there should be no sex before marriage.
Ideally, I also believe that sex before marriage opens up spiritual things, spiritual dimensions. It opens you up to demons, for lack of a better word, that will come in and have access to your covenant. Why? Because you had compromised in the beginning. So remember, in there is a spiritual realm, and they don't see things like us. In they see the essences and all of that. So it was a compromise that was made, and it's like, if you should think about it in legal terms, like if you try to go to America without the right visa and all of that, and you get catch, there will be consequences. Does it mean that you can't be a citizen? No, it does not. But it means that you're probably going to have to go through some legal issues. It's probably going to cost you some money. You're probably going to have challenges becoming a citizen, right? And if you now say, okay, if my marriage is that, then there is going to be consequences if you're courting for marriage and you compromise by having sex. And I believe that when you compromise, when certain decisions arise in that union, there is a seed planted somewhere in our subconscious because that compromise was made. Whereas if you hold out, that sacrifice, it speaks loud in the realms of the spirit on behalf of the covenant.
All right, our question audit continues. So let's go. How important is communication in marriage? I think we answered that.
Yeah, we did that.
Hmm.
Very important.
Yeah, yeah. Cool. Do do you think social media has changed how people view marriage? I think that came up somewhat, but we it was kind of a prong of a couple responses. So I do not know if you want to, look at that a little bit deeper. How has
Um,
social media changed how
if,
we view marriage?
if social media is used as a tool and not as a fix, I do believe that it can work. You have to go on social media understanding that there's a lot of information out there. So
So
if
back
you
up. So if it is used as a tool and not as a
you're
solution.
using it to help you, which means that you now have to weigh the information that you are collecting, that you are accepting, right? You have to weigh that information. Whereas, what we say, you use it as a tool or as a what did it say?
As a tool.
Or
What was it again? Uh,
viewers, what me say? A tool or a
yes,
what?
my brother came in and I'm trying to signal him. So sorry, guys. So I'm kind of distracted.
That's okay.
Yeah.
But it's not a source. Your Bible is the
Yeah.
source for
Yes.
your
Yes. Yes.
relationship,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So you can go onto social media for information, but you have to also know, okay, if I'm listening to Shane, where did Shane get his information
Yes.
from?
Yes. Hmm.
Where did he get his information from? That is important. And it has changed because we are creatures of, we have our senses. So you see a man celebrate in wife or in girlfriend. Most times they're not married. In girlfriend, whole heap of balloon all over the place, fire hazard candle all over the place, um, roses spread out, all of these beautiful, fabulous things. Happy birthday, Ray, Ray, Ray. And your husband come in, babes, happy birthday. We go out, we go eat some wings, and me download one show. We can just kick back and watch it on the all stop. And you feel like, you know what, I deserve more.
Yeah. Yeah.
I deserve more, instead of seeing that, you know what, he's meeting me where I am.
You
I'm
know,
meeting him where I'm at. So the comparison is the killer.
yeah,
The
I saw
comparison is the
the killer.
killer when you begin to compare. Because remember, what we're seeing is a 30-second of these people's life, or a 1 minute or whatever. Some of it's a lie, some
I
of it's
lie
a
because the Instagram
PR.
appear, they can rent place and all of these things and then store it in the phone, or you can, so they store it and then the
AI
second
is
time.
real. AI is real. Sometime you know want to see the rest of the house. You know, make
Mhm.
no sense that in a one corner. You're like, oh my God.
Yeah, man,
And,
them
and the internet tells you, social media tells you, it says real life versus social media. They
mhm,
tell
mhm,
you all of this. And so don't look for social, you're with the real person. Know this person. You understand? And don't compare. You begin to, what you eat affects your appetite, is how I like to say it.
mhm,
And so
mhm,
if you're on social media, you're gonna develop a rich appetite for things when you grow at
mhm,
Jamaica.
mhm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly,
It doesn't
exactly.
grow here. So you have an
Mhm,
appetite for this thing. You've never had it, but your brain has put you in this simulation. And
mhm,
now you're reaching out for something, not that you, it cannot be achieved, but you're kind of creating this ultra reality or this alternate reality instead of living in the real world that you are in. I don't think that social media is all bad, but the mind is powerful and it is important that you do not compare. The man that you have is a good man. You understand? If the Lord say he is your husband, my good man in there do the best he can, and you have to believe that his highest good, probably in a 10, probably in a one next to it, probably he will see something on social media and say, you know what, let me try this with for my wife, or let me try this for my husband and all of that, and he will try it. But you have to remember, what is your partner exposed to? You depend social media. If he's not a social media person, remember, so we get ideas from social media. There are times when I go onto social media to get an outfit.
mhm,
You
mhm.
understand what I'm saying? And when I put it on and I wear it out, friends will say, oh my gosh, Shantali, like seriously, where you come up with the ideas here? Social media. You understand
Mhm.
what I'm saying? But because they would not have. So you can take ideas from social media, but you don't use social media as the benchmark for your relationship. Come on. God has so much better in store, and you have a brilliant mind. So you have to use that. You have to use your mind. And again, I can't say it enough. Do not compare. Comparison is the killer of creativity.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Advice would you give someone who wants to get married? And that's our last question. Um, I don't know if anybody else online have any other question, but from me, my last question is, what advice would you give someone who wants to get married? And guys, thank you for joining. This has, I'm not ending yet, but I'm just pausing. Thanks. Shantali, this has been a powerful conversation. And earlier before we came online on live, Belle was like, "You guys should start chatting before," and I'm like, she was like, "Nah, we're not," and I was like, "Yeah, we're not gonna start chatting in the box before we come live. Let it be organic, let it be real. We're not gonna try to stage anything and say, oh, you should say this or you should not." And you see, it has been. You realize when we start to go through it, you see me start look down and the questions and start just eliminate and say, because guess what? The conversation has flowed to the point
Organically,
where
indeed. You
organically
have
to
been
the point.
amazing, Shane,
Yeah. So
honestly.
so yeah. So thank you, Shantali. You have been an amazing guest.
Thank you. Thank
So
you.
what advice would you want to give me and others who want to get married or plan to get married and all of those things?
I do believe that if you're planning on getting married, I think you need to do the groundwork. If you're going to build a house, you're going to do research. If you're going to bake a cake, you're going to seek out recipes and all of that. Too many times we do not invest enough time and resource into marriage, which is supposed to be a lifetime thing. You
Mhm.
understand? As we would invest into going to a college. So I believe that there are so many courses out there, so many mentorship program that are out. Case in point, there's a wife material program by um, B1 Flesh Ministries in Kingston, Tanya Case and her husband, Errington Case. They're both pastors, and they run a program for young men and young women that are wanting to be married, and so it encourages you to be whole and heal before you partner with somebody. Too many times we have so many broken persons that are marrying broken persons, and broken things cut people, and so what could have been fixed with counseling and advice, and we don't ask questions anymore. There are so many seniors that are around. Go and sit down on the veranda and say, you did married? Oh, me know say yeah, Mr. So and so did married. From when? How was it? What was the, ask questions. We don't ask questions anymore, and that is how we pass down we have passed down information for many generations, and we are not going to act as if it does not have its place in this 21st century. So ask questions to elderly couples, pray, do the mentorship program, go to the conferences, date yourself, travel. You can't want a man to come find out how you like your eggs. You don't even know how you like your eggs. You understand what kind of drink you like? Do you even like to drink? You understand? You expect this man to come in and find out what you like. You really don't know what you like. So know you before you go and decide that, okay, I want to meet this person. And then when you and this person meet, then go ahead and ensure that you put it on paper. Ask the questions. Ask all the questions. Leave no stones unturned. But research is important. If marriage is for a lifetime, which it is, yeah, man, deal with it seriously. Deal with it as serious as you will. Okay, I'm gonna build a house, and remember, you go invest money. You're going to invest money. You're going to invest time. You're investing your intellect. You're investing your soul, your spirit, all of this thing. You're investing it in this union. I think you have to give it the respect and the honor it deserves by working on the raw material that is going to build it, which is you.
I do not think there is anywhere in Jamaica or on any platform that is out there that we are having that there are persons having this conversation on a Sunday afternoon like
Oh,
this.
you think so?
I
I
think
hope there is.
I think I don't think so. I don't think so. And so if you don't have anything to say, and if let me read some of the comments. Uh, Taylor Irving said, for real, this is my journey. This was good, guys. Big up Sean, JBL, and the team.
Thank you.
And yeah, and
That's
Belly,
my sister, by the way.
that's your sister. Okay.
Yes, she
Big up,
has been
sis.
with my journals. Big up my sister,
Yeah,
Suzette, my big
yeah.
sister.
But this has been, sorry, guys. Should have been drinking some water, and Shantalee are drinking some
Not
Malta.
true.
Yeah, and this, that, and guys, yeah, one of the things we're going to start doing, especially. Um, Thanks for the advice, Sean, especially for these sort of. So probably Ben don't like it, but I'm going to have something right here and just the switch.
We're
Yeah,
going to
because
get
they're
a
tight.
cup.
Yeah, I'm
Sky
going to
Beach
get a
have them
cup.
personal water. Because we probably have to go get some bottled water with
Yeah,
Sky Beach on it. And yeah, we
yes,
don't know. We don't know.
and just put it
Possibilities
there.
are endless.
Possibilities are endless. But Sean, this has been really great. And as you can see, if I'm not enjoying, everybody who knows Shane know me. If I'm not enjoying something, it's going to be obvious. My words might lie, but my face doesn't lie.
The
All of
tea.
this, and the teeth doesn't lie. So all of this is I might be like, it's good. Face is like, no, this is not good. All right, so Um, Shantalee, thank you. I wish you all the best
Thank you.
um, in German. Where is the tea? You know, I have coffee. Well, I can't drink coffee now
Time
because I
out. Time
time
out.
out. Yeah, and
Time
I
out.
wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't sleep. But Shantalee, Shan, thank you. Um, this has been good, and I wish you all the best in all aspect of your endeavors. And
Thank you.
when I get my hands on the book, because just as I did with Yone last, when was it, Friday night? Just
Friday,
as I
yes.
yeah, just as I did with Yone, this is something I want to do with authors and all of those. So I would buy the book and then I'll read the book and then we'll come back and talk about the book at another time. So, any last words from you?
Listen, love is still keeping. Love is still keep.
Love still in the dance. It's still a
Yes, man,
key.
love still not the dance. Love yourself first. Well, love God first.
Mhm.
Love yourself and love each other. Listen to me. And marriage still in the dance.
Mhm.
Marriage still a keep. All of the people when they say don't, when they do movies and songs about don't marry, guys, they're married. Check them out. Research. Yes, man. Researching. And so and then start to look on things about marriage and about love, healthy things. Change the algorithm on your social media and see the magic that happens. Some of uno they look on too much BBLs, too much washboard abs, too much, yeah, them have washboard abs and then I have no business plan, then I have no thought, then I have nothing. What you the plan for do? And you can't tell them nothing. So change the algorithm, trust the Lord, read the word. God is big on love, God is big on unity, God is big on family, and the family is one of the main columns in our society, hands down. It has been an honor sharing my experience on this platform. I can't wait to be back. If I'm going to be invited back for sure.
I
But
mean, if you're going to be invited back,
me have to make you say it so me can't hold it to your word.
you're going to be, as I said earlier when I buy the book and read it, yeah, you're going
Cut
to be,
and paste,
you're
yes.
going, you're going to be invited.
All
Yeah,
right. It was an
I,
honor. It was an
yeah,
honor for
it was
sure.
an honor. Yeah. Go and read the Bible and read Job and read how not to be Mrs. Job.
Yes.
And
And
also
watch the
read how
movie
not
on
to,
forgiveness. Forgiveness is
yes.
big. When you are in the business of love, unforgiveness has to be a major, what you just say now, card in the deck. You have to be willing to forgive many, 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 many times.
Yeah, yeah. All right, Shan, thank you very much for being with us on Real Life JA on JBL Entertainment TV. I'm your host, Shane Reed, and you will see us sometime this week and next week, Thursday and next week, Thursday. This Thursday and next week, Thursday also. If it is not live, it might be something that Bear will produce and post online. All right, guys, if you want to talk to us, just reach out to Bell and he will set up something. All right. And if you see me walking or going about the business from here to wherever, say something to me. I might not say anything because even though you see me chatting here, I tend to be very inside here. Yeah, I don't really, chat a lot. And yeah, whether you believe it or not. So say hi to me and I will say hi to you.
All
So
right, Mr. Reed.
yeah, Mrs. Campbell, thank you so much for giving us this wonderful 2 hours and 30
I
minutes. It
know,
was,
right?
yes, right. It has been time well spent and it went so seamlessly, so effortlessly, so organic, and all of that thing. Big up, and we'll do this again. Thank you, viewers. Please like, subscribe, share. All right. See you guys.
J-Bell Entertainment. Yeah, real life, you're watching J-Bell Entertainment TV. From the heart to the hills, for the day. Prays to God, then she finds a way. Kettle boiling, bread on the pan. Simple life, but a powerful plan. Barefoot youth with a big, big dream. Faith in his heart, though life's not clean. Still he smiles when the days get rough, 'cause love alone is strong enough. Even when the night feels long, we still find strength in a simple song. Small light, but it burns so bright, guides us through the darkest night. Real life Jamaica, we're living so true. From the dust of the